Oh, terrific. Thank you very much. Thank you. Anyway, but wait, there's more. What happens is the brain, you have a system, and it's a pretty large chunk of the brain, really, that's in charge of emergencies and upsets. It's primal. It'll take over. And I'm going to kind of abbreviate the next few portions. What I want to let you, well, there's the anterior gyre, cortex, same thing. It's in charge of anticipation of tasks, attention, motivation, modulation of emotional responses to the anterior cingulate cortex. Okay? It's like you have a team up there. Just imagine you have an office and you have this woman, a guy. You have a guy at the front desk answering the phone, and he's a nervous wreck. He's always a nervous wreck, right? He's your classic nervous person, and everything is a catastrophe. And somebody calls and says, Dr. Myers, your 3 o'clock is running late. He won't be here till 4, and I know you have a 4 o'clock, and this is really bad. And you're like, you know. So there's this chain of command. Let's say he's supposed to tell my secretary that's supposed to tell me. So we have parts of the brain that interpret how urgent something is or is not. And guess what? It gets messed up. It cannot even develop properly. So, you know, do you have friends that you want to say sometimes, oh God, don't be, oh, she's so dramatic. He's so dramatic. Do you have friends like that? Good. That person is not being too dramatic. That's how they are. That's their level of what's going on in their body. I mean, it'd be so great if we could do like this Vulcan transfusion where you go into their body for a minute and experience them, and you go, oh my God, no wonder you do heroin. If I felt like this, I would be doing it too. Or no wonder you need a drink right now. Although, personally, I would go play a game of tennis. Whatever, it's just different strokes for different folks type of a thing. But a lot of it is neurological. Air detection. You have something in your brain that's in charge of noticing an air. Thank you. And that can be messed up. So what you think is right is actually wrong, and what you think is wrong is actually right, etc. Do you have friends that are constantly making the wrong decisions? It could be that they're wired in such a way that they're messed up. Anyway, the bottom line is the way everything's about reconstructing it. This is just, I was going to go into how the chemicals influence the body. Why am I strong about this subject? Because it affects everything. All that stuff you see up there, which is a very simple version of it. All the changes, all this stuff affects the human body. I want to mention something quickly. There's a huge population of people who experience a lot of trauma, a lot of bad breaks, shall we say, during child development, who are compromised in a certain way. And you take all of those, let's forget all those perfect people for a little bit. Okay? But let's think of us, the ones that have had hard times and so forth. And some of us are making it. And we may, make it and lose it, and make it and lose it, and make it and lose it. And depending what year you talk to me or some other people I know, you're doing okay or you're not doing okay. But there are those who are really functional. Don't you know people who are really doing well and riding fancy cars and have good jobs and have big families and they're a mess. I mean, personally, but they're on the job and they're up at 4 in the morning and they're going after. Okay, so what we're finding is we have the bunch that are not resilient, that aren't making it, that don't have the comeback ability very well, and their life looks exactly like that. Okay, and they're behaving in certain ways, and they're in jail or in and out of jail, or they're in their 5th marriage, or etc. And it's like everything's falling apart all the time. And we check their health, and there's healthy this way, that way. But then we look at the super functional ones that we're like, we're going to be like that guy. And this whole group, when we do studies, like you heard the ACE presentation, I hope you get that this is kind of riding on that conversation that was presented earlier. But the functional ones, they'll have great insurance and a lot of money, and they're spending it on cancer treatments, on severe arthritic problems. There's all this physical breakdown that happens because they haven't fixed anything. They're just rigidly pushing through the pain. not necessarily, mood-altering substances and so forth. They're just pushing through the pain, and the body feels, it affects the body. There you go. More pictures. Let's just look at pictures for a minute. Every picture's worth 1,000 words. Meet the brain. I want to get to the last. Finally, I will let you know that one of the things that happens in the body during these reactions that occur when we haven't managed it, when we haven't taken care of business, and we weren't given what we were needed during the development, is like, guess what? You got to go and find it now. You got to go find it for yourself. Yes, optimally you would have gotten it as a kid, as a teen, but you didn't. So now we got to go get it, and that's why all of this meeting, things like that, you can still rebuild the brain. You don't give up. The freeze response is just something where you basically shut down. Have you ever had an experience where somebody says, "Oh, this happened, and we need to do this or this," and you're like, come on, we need an answer. You have to answer right now. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And you're like, okay? So it's just like a vehicle where your computer can freeze up, we can freeze up. Okay? How do we heal that? It's called mindfulness. If you can begin to notice, and it takes practice, you can notice when it's like I'm freezing up, I'm panicking, I'm looking at, I got 1 minute left, and I hate that. But I'm noticing that I'm hating only having 1 minute. Okay, so now I'm not all wrapped up in that. And that's what this program, Smart Recovery and so forth. Last but not least, we're looking at unmanaged emotions, like this, getting high, crashing down, getting really angry, being exhausted. This up and down thing means your body, mind, and everything, nervous system, is in crisis. I worked in a clinic with working with diabetics for the longest time, and I always see blood sugar up, blood sugar down, blood sugar up, blood sugar down, and the organs fall apart. We're not designed to do that. We like this nice little, we want to be in a little kiddie roller coaster. You know, we don't want static, that's death, but we want that. And what it takes is we got to just narrow down that until we get to that line. And I want to thank you very much and let you know that my phone number and email address are available for you. If you have questions regarding this, I'm available. Thank you very much, and thank you. Thank you.